Welcome back, everybody, to ASCENT Season 5. We've got a big show tonight. This is the final matchup for our Season 5 showing, Division 4 match. I'm Stranger, and joining me tonight will be Vocalize.
Yeah, great to be here with you, Stranger. Not been too long since I've been around, but hey, I'm back. Ready to do the last finals game for ASCENT.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty fun matchup. I mean, tonight we've got FA1 going up against our kind of our underdogs for the night, Tropical Thunder. But just before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you to AOE, and Koala Esports, who make these kind of shows happen, and also to the Patreons, of course, who really made the funding of this whole thing happen.
Yeah, of course. Before we get into kind of the team talk kind of situation, we're going to be talking about the little bit of the tournament as usual. So first of all, what is ASCENT? It's pretty much a prize pool of 1.1k split among the divisions, 5-week tournament followed by 2 weeks of grand finals, with every team split into SR divisions and in between lower and higher brackets. And if you want to help fund more tournaments like this one, and consider help heading to patreon.com/AOEsports, and make sure you join the Discord by clicking on the links down below. All right, now we're going to get into the teams, Stranger. So you want to lead us off with FA1?
Sure, yeah, opening up the field there. FA1 being a team I've actually casted before in this same tournament, showing a very strong performance throughout. It's Astronaut and Monkey Enjoyer there out on our tank line. Very effective tank line that we've seen playing there earlier on in the season there. And then we've got Dumbfist and Banderstorm holding up that DPS line strong. And Sora and Minty Toast holding the whole team together with some good healing. We might even see Artemis as well coming in as a sub potentially during the game. See whether or not they actually make it in or not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting seeing the play style kind of change when she comes in. But we are going to move on now to the next team, Tropical Thunder. Their lineup featuring Bloodstrike on the main tank, Faded EXE on the off tank, Olive on the flex DPS, Hexel on the hit scan, and then Shiro and Jamin on that support line. I don't know too much about the guys here, but I know Hexel, the top 500 Lucio ball player from the last time we casted Stranger, is ready to make his mark once again.
Yeah, Hexel's got that pretty solid aim. They're pulling up that hit scan kind of mode here as well. I see they'd have picked Doomfist as one of their favorite heroes, but they kind of lean into that hit scan. So they've obviously got the aim potential and seems like they've got some flexibility too. Interesting note here is that FA1 during the season of ASCENT here won every single of their matches, 5 in a row, cleaned the field to put themselves into the semis and into the finals. And Tropical Thunder, on the other hand, kind of came up in the middle there. They had to fight their way in. They won their semi to be here tonight. So they're a bit more of the underdog potentially, since they had a bit of a harder road to get here. So let's see how that works out for them. I mean, they definitely earned their way into this position. So FA1, they want to take it, they win it. They're going to have won their whole way through, which would be a pretty clean sweep.
Yeah, it's definitely a tall order for Tropical Thunder, considering that they were one of the teams that did lose to FA1 along the way in the division side of things in the group stage. But they did on the way here. They defeated Zacticador in the semi-finals. A very good team, very strong team that we had the pleasure of casting a couple of nights before. And now they're here in the finals, and who knows, they might be able to take it out. It'll be a good challenge for them, but I think they have the ability to do so.
For sure. I mean, what a comeback story there to, come up in the middle of the pack and then actually make your way right to the end when it really matters. So this is a bit of a rivalry. I mean, FA1, they can't slack on the job here and let Tropical get too much movement, because otherwise they'll be in trouble.
It's going to be a bit difficult here with a very strong DPS line. I mean, they love going in the back line, love dealing as much damage as they please, and it's going to be a tall order for Tropical Thunder to try and close out, especially Artemis on that kind of Tracer and Cassidy kind of thing. There's certainly a player to be looking out for early on in this on the Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, of course, the map pool, Lijiang as usual, the control map to open us up. And then we'll move into the hybrid. It's the usual setup, Hollywood, Blizzard World, or King's Row. We've seen a lot of King's Row, some Hollywood as well being shot up there during the season. Then we move into the escorts, Junkertown, Watchpoint Gibraltar, or Dorado there. We've seen quite a lot of Dorado and Junkertown being played, Gibraltar getting a little bit less attention. Then the assault, of course, Temple of Anubis, which we've seen a lot of and had some really interesting battles on, especially on Friday night. We had some very, very close matchups. Hanamura as well, and Volsky Industries, so of course assault always being an interesting one. And then we do a bit of a loop, we go back to control hybrid escort once again, because obviously this is a first to four setup.
Yeah, best of 7 as we like. We might be able to see a good 7-map pool to end off the season of ASCENT. Might be very nice. Might be a fun for us, Stranger, but
Oh,
I already had one last night, so it might be better. It might be better off to keep it short. But I'm more than happy to see another entertaining match.
I mean, if FA1 pop off and just clean the floor, it could be a quick one. But of course, we always like a close match here, and these two teams obviously have worked very hard to get to this position. In Division 4 being here, so we're not the top division going on, but these guys are still right up there and some good solid players all around. So I'm very excited for them to get into this Lijiang Tower map.
Yeah, there certainly is a lot of high SR players here, not just in comp, maybe in the role queue side of things. I mean, we have some pretty good people at open queue, and not to mention Copa Lucio Ball, as we've already mentioned. So a lot of people that know what they're doing in this bout, know what it's like to play at that kind of high level just in comp alone. So it probably will still be an interesting one, and there'll still be a lot of skill on display.
I'm actually really looking forward to if there's a potential highlight reel coming out of this whole tournament, because there has been some awesome stuff. If you guys have been catching the previous night's matches and all during the past few weeks where we've had some awesome team plays going on, I mean, there can be a lot of good stuff pulled from that. So we could get a pretty cool highlight reel going out of this whole thing.
Some big players from all the divisions. I think in Div 6 we saw some good blades last night, and all over the Div 1 contest we had some good shots from, you know, Jake and Hypnotic on Family First, who were able to win that bout, and just it was all over the place in the last car this weekend. So many good matches, so many good players, so many great players, and it's a bit unlucky that we have to finish it now.
I know, on Friday night we got a 6-man Diva Bomb, which is basically illegal in, I think it was Division 3 or something like that. So I mean, to let that happen live on the cast, I mean, yeah. So that one was definitely a highlight. I don't think I've seen a 6-man in like a year or so. It just doesn't happen anymore, you know. So that was pretty crazy.
That's one for the montage, you know. It goes on the YouTube channel and has all the casting in the background.
100%.
A nice little thing to look back on.
That might have to go right at the beginning of the montage. I think that's a pretty special one.
Yeah. Well, we are going to get started very shortly, I think. So
they're just the team's getting finalized now, and getting their stuff together as they get ready, because this could be a bit of a long haul slaughter going forward, so they need to be ready. Interesting to see that FA1 being the only team with a sub, they do have that potential to roll a player in and out, specifically in that DPS kind of role as well. So they might have that little bit of extra flexibility in this matchup. It might be interesting to see how that can help them going through these maps.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It might throw off Tropical Thunder a little bit. They are gonna start with Artemis here instead of Manta Storm. Probably edging towards more of a Tracer style then on this map, but who knows what we'll see. We are going to get started now, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Artemis, as we said, big on the hit scan ability, and but so is Hexel there, so going to be interesting how they balance out there on the damage side of things. But of course, the tank line there on FA1 has been very solid through this, so let's see if they can keep the protection that the team needs to keep them going.
Yeah, we've seen how good Broadstrike can be on the Reinhardt here. I haven't seen much of FO1, so I'm not too sure what to expect, but their tank line has been very prominent throughout their entire series, and has been a good reason for why they've been keeping it alive, keeping their hopes alive of winning the grand finals here.
And off the bat, we get a mirror instantly from both teams.
Both teams are looking to play the same way. It would seem getting the speed boost in and the teleporter, trying to get to that right control room and trying to take the space, and I think whoever wins that opening fight has a big advantage going into the next couple.
Yeah, this engagement is going to be extremely quick here. I mean, both of them should make it to this midpoint super fast, and we do see that they both go up to the side ground. We get fire strikes, lasers, the whole lot to start it off. Very messy, but Astronaut gonna get that pin to start it off and gives them a bit of an advantage. Hexel to go down too, so Tropical Thunder not gonna win out that fight at all. They have to back up a bit, and there's still a bit of time here before this point opens up.
Yeah, very quick fight there. Astronaut charging straight into Brunstike, pretty much ending the fight immediately. The immo came out by Minty Toast to try and to make sure that Astronaut kept alive because he got frozen from the May. But all around, really good team play from FA1 to start us off.
Tropical Thunder need to move in here. They don't want to let them get too much space. Early shatter, but it does get blocked out. Astronaut actually getting frozen solid. Both immortality fields used there right at the beginning of the battle to keep that sustained, because it's just so much instant output from both sides here. Now Tropical Thunder rotating around. The wall is an attempt to split them off. Astronaut doesn't land the charge, but does hit the swings. The barrier comes up for FA1, which gives them heaps of protection, and they should be able to sustain through the battle as they look to clean up the rest of the team.
Really good work there, just to clean through there. We saw Astronaut taking that off angle on Broadstrike once again, taking an early MTD, as you might say. Yeah, there we see him again, just piling through, getting even more kills. Walking forward with Sora right next to him. It's going to be a really good connection, I feel.
Yeah, FA1's showing early tank dominance there and really holding it down well. They're doing really well at rotating us around as well to counter Thunder's move in.
Yeah, you gotta thank Sora for that. The speed boost has been on point thus far, going all around the place. Shatter comes out early once again, and the Blizzard and the Shatter.
Ooh, yeah, they actually managed to get some momentum going here. All of that gets the kills. This could be their chance to convert back. They clean up the rest of the team nice and quickly and start to get this convert over at 70%.
Even if Astronaut's doing really well and like generating those shadows so quickly, Broadstrike's just blocking every single one as of late. It's really good work from him, allowing Olive to get off that Blizz and then letting Hexel pick up the dirty work and deal as much damage as he pleases. It's really good to see some fightback here from Tropical Thunder now.
Yeah, they have to hold strong. That window does come up quite short. Diva bombs straight into the point, but there's plenty of barriers and protections to hold off, so not much of value. FA1 committing a lot into the battle. The return from the beat drop on Tropical Thunder side does give them a lot of health, though, to sustain through it all. It looks like they're going to come out on top again.
Yeah, it's just really good work to be able to use those counter ultimates. The beat comes out from both sides there, and they just uses it on their side really well to keep them in. They are going to set up a teleporter quite aggressively here to Tropical Thunder, just trying to get some early ult charge here, get those 6 ults as quick as they can.
Yeah, they're catching up on that percent nice and quickly here, 45% already. Blizzard from FA1 Eden, so no value there for the DPS line. We get the Shatter attempt across. Brood, sorry, doing very well in that backline to remove Artemis from the fight. The damage just not there for FA1 now, and they're going to keep it going. That is an aggressive pin, and it works exactly how they want it to.
Yeah, we're seeing both Ryans playing super aggressive in this early point. Like, this round has been just all about these two Reinhardt players battling it out. Not to mention their Lucio's getting a lot of the action as well, spinning around and just allowing the Reinhardt to deal so much damage.
Tropical's got the ults here to keep them at bay for a moment. They've taken over that ult percent, so they're in a strong position to hold on to this again. Even with the window coming up, they return the favor. The barrier from Sim split down the middle of it, so it allows them to really disrupt well, and they completely pull FA1's push apart like that in the final percent. There's just no coming back from it. A first round quickly taken, even though it looks quite rough for them. Tropical coming back hard.
Yeah, what a way to turn it around. Another underdog story, as you will. 74%. The 70% was rising, and it was just really great work for them to be able to turn it around with some good plays, some good like block shatters there, and it just turned out all in their favor after that.
I really like the Sim barrier there from Hexel. Even though they had put the window up, Hexel put the barrier right down the center of it, and it just made it a little harder for them to find the angles to use that actual screen properly. And just the disruption was just enough for the rest of the team to get in there and kind of have a free fight.
Yeah, look, it was just really good from Tropical Thunder. Just all around excellence after like getting battered and bruises for the first little bit. It just worked out all in their favor afterwards. And now we're going to be looking at the same comps again this time around.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're going to run it against him. Telly's up into the height, but a good positioning from FA1 gives them advantage onto the point, the barrier coming up to block them out too. And Tropical know they can't just walk in here, especially with all these turrets set up. They have to get in slowly but surely, find the pick potentially to open this up for them. But it is very difficult, especially with the Mei walls that come up and block them. They try and use Olive's barrier there to trick someone out, get them stuck behind it. But FA1 will get the convert to start.
Yeah, it's really good work from them to just get that wall off. Dumbfist doing really good work in order to get there. And then, of course, you saw Astronaut there just holding the chokes really well, not allowing Hexel to get much of his beam there either. There's another wall from Dumbfist blocking off that window. Really good work all around, using their cooldowns really effectively right now.
FA1 put up a wall, up comes the barrier. Then Tropical puts up a barrier. You know, it's just the trade back and forth. Neither team is really giving much space, but with FA1 on the objective, they have such an advantage right now. Tropical have to go in with the ults to make something happen here. It is a good attempt as well, the boot to get rid of Minty. So the second as well to follow an Artemis. This is really good work from Shiro out on that Lucio, but they have to make sure the rest of the team can clean up and they get this convert back around 40%. So a little bit given to FA1 to start, but they're looking to get themselves back in. We've seen this before.
I mean, that's really good early for FA1. They just now got to capitalize on this early percent that they've got and keep that point in their control. They don't have the ults, though. On the other side, Tropical Thunder, they're racking them up. They got 4.
Yeah, it's going to be really important that they use these properly. That Diva Bomb could make everything they need to hold this objective. They can put it in the right spot. FA1 know they have to be smart. They go for the telly, but the flip around from Brood with the shatter attempt as well. That Diva Bomb does go into the point here. Immortality Field saving most of the team, but the remake is actually what finds the value, but not before they get the boot off to get rid of the tank line as well. An even trade, one might say. The barrier coming up from Hexel in an attempt to stay alive and keep some value on this point. They want to hold it as long as possible. It's actually working out very well for them. They play around it for a long time there. They do finally fall, but the value is found as the team still have control of this objective, and FA1 have just got to get rid of these people off the point and get the convert back. They can't give up all this percent like this. It's still Monkey is staying on it.
It's just back and forth here. They just did really good work. Olive used a blizzard there to just clean out the point, and they were able to turn that around. It's really unfortunate for Astronaut after the TP getting booped off by Shiro. You can see there the Lucio bouncing around, having a bit of fun as you will. He's also doing a really good job so far, just speed boosting his team all over the place, picking the right targets and taking their team apart one by one.
Yeah, that's both tanks for Shiro on the list. So the environmental's coming in hardcore. Artemis to use the barrier, gives them a chance to try and move in, but the pins are very strong from Brood. And the follow-up on Astronaut just ruined them again. They're having a hard time in these fights, just keeping themselves alive, and the rest of the team falling too. At 90%, you can't afford to lose battles like that. They're going to have to trickle on here with the Diva.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult here. Tall order as the touch comes in, 1 to 5. It's not looking like it's going to go in their favor. Astronaut's going to be the next to touch here. Shadow comes out from Brood, and the pin on Astronaut. Unbelievable stuff that he gets taken down here. All going the way of Tropical Thunder right now, as overtime is dwindling down. Life extend, Minty Toast gets taken out, and there you go. FA1. I mean, Tropical Thunder win this first map.
Man, to be coming back from what they had in early battles on both of those starting maps, they had a hard time with the start, but they definitely, once they got a hold of that point, they held on to it like their life depended on it. So
you see the big improvement there from Tropical Thunder. I mean, they came in not being the team that was hyped up as much as FA1, because FA1 was winning all those fights. They're certainly coming as an underdog, and they've made an impression really early on here, getting a big win.
oh hell yeah, that was really impressive. I mean, to start, I was going, oh, here we go, FA1 looking super dominant. They were winning two fights in a row there, and then when it finally came to that old economy though, the Tropical started looking a bit more solid. They were making theirs count a little more. Astronaut was getting quick shatters, but they weren't having the value that Brood was finding, especially with those pins. Brood was really nailing them down, and Astronaut was having such a hard time dying quite early into the fights because they were just getting so bullied.
Yeah, this is really difficult. Maybe it's something to do with the teleport play. Putting him in the back line, trying to swing through when there wasn't much value to be had, made it really easy for Brute to get a good shatter off there, getting a couple kills and just like clearing off everyone that wasn't the main tank for a change.
But damn, yeah, wow, Tropical coming in hot here. Just take this first map and see if they can keep that momentum as they move into the next one.
Yes, it is going to be a hybrid map here. Kings Row, usually the fan favorite, as you would say. Everyone loves it. Are we going to be going there?
I don't know, but I'm definitely been impressed to go back to the teams really quick of these guys on the DPS side. I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of it. Olive absolutely popped off with the May shots in some of those fights, which just while the team was trickling back on, Olive was already at the front door just stopping them, saying, you're not going to get in there to help the rest of your mates out. So really impressive accuracy coming out from them. And I think the sub here potential for FA1 to bring in Banderstorm back instead of Artemis, maybe that'll make the difference here.
Yeah, that sub has gone through here, and I think you're absolutely right about Olive. The May is going to be really strong here. As we can tell right now, we think FA1 has chosen King's Row, and that's playing right into the hands of Olive on this first point. Might be very difficult to get some opening here, but they've taken out Artemis. What are we going to expect this time around from FA1?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Artemis, they were using was it the Symmetra and that, was it? If I recall. Yes, yeah. So not playing so much that hit scan role that we might have expected. So let's see if I don't know what Banter's more preference will be, but maybe that plays into it. They're not keen on any sim kind of play here. Obviously Kings Row doesn't really benefit much from it, so that mix up might be quite good for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to go something more classic in terms of a rush comp here to try and defend and attack on both sides here. Might be more suited to the banter play style because, you know, Artemis is a lot more about the hit scans, the Widowmakers, the Ashes, and didn't get that chance to actually play it in that round, unfortunately. So we might be seeing her come back shortly, but right now we have a Banterstorm coming in to make the difference.
Another interesting note is that both of these teams are quite hard committed to their comp. None of them really mixed up their play much. They kind of played the same thing into it, no matter if they were winning or losing. So interesting to see if these teams evolve there and decide, like, especially with these more like long range maps where we're moving the card down the lane and there's a bit more time involved, they'll mix up their character picks a bit more as well. Yeah,
I mean, it's a bit difficult on Lijiang because when it's most people would run that kind of comp on those two maps. That sim TP getting there fast is really important. But now we get a bit more versatility. You can run a lot more things here, and we are going to be getting started here. Some unusual choices to start us off with, but we're going to get into Assembler Heroes now.
Yeah, of course, Banter already teasing us with that soldier play there, so maybe we will get that hit scan like we're talking about. And obviously the pick is from the losing team, so FA1 would have picked this. This is their choice to take, so hopefully that for them that means that they're feeling really confident on this one.
Yeah, it must be something they practice a bit more than the other two hybrid maps. I know that a lot of teams like this, and it is their bread and butter kind of map out of all three. And we have two interesting choices from both the teams. FA1 gone for a bit of a dive, maybe just for a little bit, maybe to just throw us off the game. And then on the defense side, Tropical Thunder, there you go, running that rush. Olive still in that May.
Yeah, the wall potential for this chokehold, very fun to watch, could be very effective. It's all probably going to come down to if Dumbfist can really smack those shots out and delete someone out of the fight early, giving them a lot of advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be really good and really important in this matchup, considering that they're going to have the speed boost of Shiro coming into any targets they wall off. It's going to be huge here, but on the side of FA1, they're running something quite unorthodox for the start here. They're going to TP across to the right.
Okay, maybe take that high ground, give them a little bit of advantage. So far, they're a bit split. They need to make sure that they're sticking together, finding that value. FA1, with that high ground advantage, should be looking to find that pick if possible before they commit to the site. They have done very well to split the team on the objective. They're on both sides of them, so making it a bit harder for the tanks to heal up. And they're actually going to use the inside as their kind of hidey hole for now. They do give up the objective for a moment, but they find themselves a pick on a main tank, so that could be just what they need to hold them off the moment.
Yeah, it's really good there. Getting that pick there. The ball is just not having much luck because he's just waiting for Ban to get in the right position to take out the team. But Tropical Thunder are doing a really good job at holding their ground and playing in rooms where those angles that they're taking, Banter and Astronaut aren't doing as much work as they can. But as I say that, they get rid of Brood and Shiro.
And they managed to get a minefield off as well, right on that point, which makes it super hard for anyone to escape or get back. The cleanup will ensue, and that's a decent start to the map here.
It's quite an unorthodox comp to run on King's Row. Maybe something they wouldn't have expected there, and they went around the sides. They took angles really well there, just piling damage through from all angles. And Tropical Thunder, they look like they were doing good to start off with, but there you go. As they kind of go from the recontest, it's just damage from all over the place. No way you can shield that, and that's first point.
Oh, poor Brood has been stuck on Respawn Simulator. That is rough to watch. They got eliminated so quickly, like they weren't even a tank at all.
It can be difficult when you're being focused that hard. I mean, he definitely was the only person going in there. It was a bit unfortunate for him. But now we're going to be looking at something a bit different here. I wonder how FA1 are going to play this on the second point. Not as many angles that you can take. Maybe we can see Tropical Thunder close them off a bit better here.
Yeah, I think they might be a bit more confident on this street phase here, where they can hold the front line a bit stronger. Brood doesn't have to focus so many different angles at once. We do see Astronaut doing a lot of good disrupt the tanks off to the side. Double Reinhardt, the one with the clone, of course, but Dumb actually does get eliminated from a good shot from Olive. So they can kind of keep the cart momentum here. Astronaut is slowing things down. A good flux, but they have the beat to counter it, so they're looking pretty still as they keep that momentum.
Yeah, sure, a good beat there. That flux got a lot of people, but the beat came in clutch just right there, and keeping Road alive, keeping the tanks alive, and they're able to hold this corner really well. Super strong so far.
This is kind of what we were just talking about. We kind of expected them to be a bit more steady on the street here, where they can kind of focus down the straight lane instead of having to worry about so many different angles.
Yeah, we definitely talked about how the limited angles are going to affect them on this second point. They might have to consider a swap up here. But we see on this right side right now, they got the Banter Storm and Monkey on the back line, just going on the high ground, but Hexel gets rid of him. Really good work here. Now we're just waiting for Olive to make a play here with the wall, trying to get a Blizz off.
They still have a couple of members up there in that high ground, which is behind them. The split off, but Hexel's just popping off right now, getting rid of one after the other. Down comes the Sigma falling off the edge. I don't know if they moved off there on their own or got boot, but that was a bad decision either way. And that's just going to stop the push again.
That off angle wasn't the best we've seen. I think Monkey Enjoyer was just a bit unlucky there not to put the shield in time for Banter. Fortunately getting headshot there by Hexel. It's really good work and really good aim from him, in fact. You know, he's definitely favoring that Cassidy roll, that hit scan roll.
The Thunder have a couple of ults here, 4 online to keep this car at bay. So if they know they got to go in as a solid unit, maybe try and bait some out. Potentially, they do have the defensive ult, so they could use that to kind of maintain for a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Banter taking the other angle here. I see Sora and Monkey through the middle doing really work here. Trans comes off to keep them both alive. Astronaut takes out Hexel as the bomb comes out.
Tropical looking to commit some ults there. That Diva Bomb is somewhat effective to get rid of Dumb Fist, but the momentum could continue here as the damage output is huge. Even with Olive's freeze, they still don't have the value that they were looking for at all, and they get rolled out there. Jeez, out of 4 ults, so they used 3 there at least, and it just didn't work out for them at all in the defense.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I think those angles that they're taking has been so strong right now. You saw Sora and Monkey through there getting suppressed by Hexel, but were able to take him out really well. And then Banter on the other side closing them down. They were able to use all the angles they possibly can on that like very small point and pushing through.
Astronaut on the Orisa allows them to get a little bit more output. Hexel's High Noon, unfortunately not going to connect as they could have wanted, but they have the beat to counter Flux coming up. Banter finds a great angle and has the visor up top. He couldn't be in a better position, but still the swing from Brood down below it clips them and takes them out of the fight. Ouch, man, standing too close to the edge and just gets caught out by it. And now Tropical could be in a nice spot to keep this at bay. Sora does commit the defensive ult. They got to get some kills here, FA1, if they want to make sure that that cart hits this point. But right now, FA1 have good damage output and a few more members to play with too.
Yeah, a lot of ults committed there. Oh, bro. Getting rid of Sora with that Finn. Very unfortunate for him. 20 seconds left now on the clock. They're going to have to get overtime here. Astronaut going to have to maybe swap back onto the ball to try and contest. But I think that was just the ults came in from one side and the ults came into the other. And then the other team won that didn't commit it, which was very strange, but anything can happen in Overwatch. I think Tropical Thunder have done a really good work at defending this point.
The Dragons do come out, but Brood's ahead of the game with the Shatter. They actually don't even get to touch it. What? Are you kidding? Minty tried, but just wasn't close enough.
That's really good work from Brood. Wow, the Shatter just got so many people with that one. Really good work. The rest of the people that didn't get shattered, you know, I think it was Monkey Joiner on that high ground. Unfortunately, did not realize what happened and wasn't able to touch in time. Unfortunate for them, but they can still get a good defense off here and try and keep Tropical Thunder at bay.
Yeah, 0.1 hold is where they want to be to stay confident, but the cart's not a whole lot way down. I mean, maybe first corner, sorry, here at the, you know, right at this first corner of the streets. But other than that, it's really difficult once they get past that. So it's going to have to be really solid hold from them.
Yeah, it's a tall order to say the least. And from their comp that we're seeing right now, it's a lot of damage, a lot of holding the chokes, and then we have Dumbfist on that Tracer, taking angles and trying to deal with that pesky support line.
It's been interesting. We thought Tropical might be more of the underdogs, but they're having a really good showing so far. FA1, they cannot, you know, fumble the bag here. They got to play very solid to try and keep this. They want the second map, because if Tropical get this, they're 2-0. It's really, really, you know, demotivating at that point. They got to try and keep their heads up.
Yeah, I think what they're doing right now is they're playing really well. I mean, we thought that they'd be kind of struggling in this matchup, but they seem to be taking control right now. It's just such great work from them, just pushing through. They've seen the unorthodox comps on these kind of maps, and they're just playing into them, and they're doing it so well right now. You see that on that high ground? Wow. They just wall them off, and they get rid of Astronaut. What a great play.
Absolutely huge wall there. The team was split. There's no chance of the defense at this point. I mean, they will manage to get Tracer on for a moment, but when Brood's standing there with that giant bloody hammer, you do not want to get anywhere near him. Monkey has to commit onto the point. Now they know it, but Brood's still playing nice and close to really apply that pressure on the damage output. Brood does end up falling, but Monkey is traded in the act. I mean, it is potential FA to get back onto this point, but they need to find the picks, and they're just not making it happen.
Tropical Thunder, Olive has been amazing so far. This has been the map for him. Really good work. Just the walls come out perfectly, the freeze comes out, and that was fight done, especially. And now we're getting really close to this Blizz, and it's going to be so difficult to take care of as long as it doesn't get eaten by Astronaut. You know that he's going to be looking for it.
He'll be tried. Tropical Thunder will play right up as far as they can, take as much map presence as possible, even with the cart moving slowly. They know keeping the team at bay, letting them move up too much will net them a lot more range on that vehicle. But it looks like they are going to back just a little bit. They know that they have the ult advantage here. They might even try to bait out a couple from FA1. These barriers are just huge. The blizzard to come onto the cart there. In the end, there's the eat up actually on the other side of what we were expecting. So great value found there to get rid of an ult. Tropical really on a momentum here. Banter finds the one kill, especially onto a support, but there's so much frontline damage. Monkey's just doing what they can. This car is just walking on. Banter has to get a really good value from this ult, but in the end, the barrier's up, the protection's there, the Diva Bomb cleans up field, and they should be able to just roll this on. Minty gets taken. A clean sweep here. They find their second map.
Oh wow, 2-0. I mean, that last fight, you have to hand it to Mag9. Really great work there. Ate the pulse bomb, got the kill onto the Zenyatta. The bomb went off and he got 2. Really good stuff. It's those clutch plays right there that just makes Overwatch a good name. That goes into the montage right there. All that entire sequence, right? 4 minutes 18, or like close enough to it for that cap. Really good work from Tropical Thunder. Definitely turn the tide on this game. Maybe something FA1 didn't expect walking into it.
I mean, they picked the map as well, so that was their map of choice. And it looks like Tropical were pretty comfy on it too. I love how seamless and smooth Magnite made that feel. Like they just, oh, there's a shield. I'll walk behind that and just press Q. Oh, yep, easy money. just so chill about it. I love Demon play like that. It's great. But yeah, I mean, if FA1 picks it and then they have a bad time like that, I mean, that just shows the strength of Tropical. I guess Kings Row is a pretty general map, though. Most teams are pretty comfy on that one.
Yeah, you kind of have to be, especially since a lot of teams do love that kind of map. So you have to be strong in it, and look, it paid off, and that's what we like to see. But we're going to see a bit of a different kind of map choice here. I mean, we talked about how these two escort maps were a lot more favorable. We're seeing the one that isn't so much in Watchpoint Gibraltar here.
Yeah, we've seen so much of the Dorado. I mean, the players have been liking that one. I think it is really interesting as well because it mixes up the team a bit. They can't just play that Ryan, which is very prominent. They have to play more into that Monkey or like Diva and stuff like that. So sometimes I think teams might pick that just to, test the flexibility of the enemy team and their tank line. But I think in the end, they are going to pick Watchpoint of all of the ones that we at least expected that. So interesting pick. This again is going to be FA1's pick, so they must have another idea.
I think that the plan is to try and force him off that rush comp that they've been doing so well on, forcing Olive off the Mei, because he's been incredible thus far. I mean, the blizzards, the walls, just definitely the star of the show. I mean, we've seen Shiro and Brood do some really good work, and we saw Mag9 at the very end there playing outstandingly. On the other side, we've also seen some good play from the supports as well. So they're looking to change the scenery a little bit, change the play style, and hopefully get this map.
We do see potential Artemis being subbed back in again for Banter. So FA1 not afraid to mix things up and keep going back and forth, trying different stuff here, which is really good from them. They need to make sure that they're not, stagnating, and that's the way they'll do it. So here's their chance to make their impact and come back in. They need to get some maps under their belt.
Yeah, definitely the impact needs to be big from Artemis here. I mean, if you've seen her play the game, she is a incredible hit scan player, and with the angles that we can see right now, the Widowmaker, the Ashe, the Tracer even might be looking very favorable here.
Yeah, I mean, Gibraltar, like you say, you can't just play that map. This is a much more vertical style of map. There's a lot more going on in the high ground, so we'll see a lot more of that range DPS or even, the flying type to get that momentum around and find those angles to kind of disrupt. So a lot more dynamic, I would say, in terms of maps.
Yeah, a lot of maps that can be played certainly very differently. I think that's the kind of strong suit that you have with having that sub in, is that you have more versatility in that DPS category, since there's so many heroes in it, and having 3 people who are diverse and can play a lot of heroes comfortably gives you a lot of scope and a lot of action in each of these maps.
So I'm just thinking back then, I mean, these guys would have played each other during the season then, and FA1 would have come out on top, right? So this is not an unfamiliar matchup for them. They have done this before and come out on top FA1. So I guess they maybe Tropical's really done some training in that to find out some weak points and come out on top here.
Certainly done their research and certainly have done their practice, it would seem.
Yeah.
It's finding out what works, finding out what doesn't, and we can see from right now it's just been really, really good. I mean, it's probably a bit differently from the last time that these two bouted. I think that's definitely styled FA1 a bit from playing their kind of, comps that isn't just a conventional rush, especially on 2 maps where that is seen as meta. But now we're going to be seeing something really different.
Initiating match.
Gibraltar is a pretty awesome map. I do love how dynamic it is. It allows for very different play at each point of the map as well. So yeah, FA1 picking it, they obviously have that comfort here, and we'll hopefully see them take the map if that's the case.
Yeah, they're going to be hoping for some sort of turnaround here. I mean, I don't expect anything less from them, but we have to give it to Tropical Thunder right now. It's definitely a
Ready for battle.
tall order. They're making it really difficult for FA1 to go undefeated. And it'd be pretty unfortunate for them to lose in the grand finals.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, they make it all that way and then they don't get a map potentially, or I would feel pretty bad for them there. But look, they're a solid team. I definitely think that they can get some momentum here. They take this map as their choice. They definitely will be showing that comfort, and we already do see some picks that would show that.
We've seen already. We talked about how strong Artemis is on that hit scan roll, and we've seen, there you go, the Ashe has been chosen. On the other side, Brood has gone for the Monkey instead of the Ryan here, and then we've seen Jammin on the Ana. Very different plays from both teams now. Yeah, as we can see, more dive on the side of Tropical Thunder. On the right, FA1. There you go. They're running dive right now.
Yeah, FA is probably quite happy to have Brood off of that Reinhardt. It's been pretty dominant force. So they're going to play smart here. Monkey does go win, getting bullied heavily, but does manage to get them some space here. I love how tight Thunder's playing. Keeping that high ground strong. The tanks know that they have to hold it off. Monkey does get in behind them, but a stun quickly dealing to them, and Olive with that laser that just absolutely outputs. Minty does manage to trade back some damage. They get rid of Hexel from the Cowboy, which is a big pick to get rid of. This car is going to be stalled down the bottom by Mag9. Even though they did get some space here, they got them off the high ground. They need to make sure this car keeps moving.
Yeah, that was really good from Olive to find out the Monkey Enjoyer's kind of poor positioning there, because there was a big anti there from Minty Toast and it just wasn't followed up upon and then taken advantage of in the end. They're going to see a nanoed Monkey here from Monkey Enjoyer going for the backline, is able to take out both supports. This is going to be huge.
Does manage to do exactly what they needed to, then uses the ult to stay alive and find Olive while the high ground fight continues to go on. Monkey Enjoyer does finally get destroyed, but they should be able to get this car up a little bit for it.
So, I mean, you saw there on that high ground, Mag9 leading the charge and for Tropical Thunder, but no, not such luck. Astronaut was able to get the better of him there, and then Monkey Enjoyer in the backline dealing so much damage as the bomb from Astronaut comes out.
Interesting, it's put into the corner, doesn't connect. That bubble to come up right on top of Hexel.
Wow.
So there's just zero value from the Noon. Fantastic shielding there. That's amazing stuff. Diva Bomb will end up landing from the clone of Olive. Ends up finding the one kill onto a tank, which is great value. Bob comes in to take a healer out on the way through as well. Following up with that damage, Artemis using it fantastically with the positioning. Actually managing to get one of the kills with just the pure line of sight of it. And they will manage to find their first point here.
There you go, there's the Bob difference. We thought it would come out there, but it was just a good place there from Artemis. Finally getting to play what she likes a bit more, and it's just working out in their favor a bit more. The tides are turning, it would seem, right now on this attack.
Man, that bubble from Monkey Enjoyer just shut down Hexel's ult. Fantastic timing on it. They managed to perfectly place it up there and engulf them in it. So well done right there. We see a slow reposition from Thunder here. A lot of space being given.
Yeah, they're just waiting for it, waiting and being patient with their time. Monkey Enjoyer on the FA1 now, diving in with a boost. Nano boost, and Astronaut gets a bomb in there. Road Strike able to take up Minty Toast, and Monkey Enjoyer goes down by Hexel as well. Now it's time for Tropical Thunder to get a good defense here and clean up.
That's a lot of great damage output from the tank line. It's looking strong once again. Like we were saying, that patience from them really made the difference there.
Yeah, they just waited their time. They saw the nano boost come out, and they just waited their time. They backed all the way up, waited for fit to finish, and they took them out there. Really good play there. And that also allowed Artemis not get any value on their sight line, and Olive was able to pick up a good kill. It's just great work in general.
Yeah, Thunder didn't even have to commit a lot of ults to it either, so Very good economy from them in that regard. Here we see the nano from Brood right into the back of the team looking for some squishies, but gets put to sleep. Night, Monkey. He'll be dreaming about some bananas, no doubt. But the rest of the team continue the aggression at the front line. We're looking for another potential Diva Bomb from Mag9. There's a lot of damage to be had here on the side of Tropical, and you can see that they really do win out the fight nicely.
Yeah, Mag9 acting like a foot soldier right now, just on that floor, controlling every single little bit of it, while the rest of the team on the high ground dominating, as it would seem. Diva Bomb is going to be ready. The self-destruct is going to be out probably in the next couple fights here. On the other side, on Olive as well, having that duplicate such a big ult. We might be seeing multiple bombs coming out here. Might be difficult for FA1 to try and maneuver around.
They were looking so solid at the beginning, but they're having a lot harder time here, especially with Tropical having that high ground. So you can see as Monkey's Enjoyer is trying to get up there and disrupt that a bit, and does a good job of it. Does end up losing DPS on both sides for the team, so going to reduce that damage output. The clone of the Winston does give them a lot of momentum here. Mag9's going to put that Diva Bomb right back by the cart, but it doesn't connect well with FA1 at all. That nade, on the other hand, though, puts a lot of pressure on the tank line of Tropical. They had to put the nano onto the Monkey to get that sustained. They gotta find some kills. Monkey does get rid of Olive. The Bob coming in to clutch once again, dropping right on that cart there. The boot will send them back a bit though, to get them off the objective. And while, you know, FA1 is doing good damage here, they need to make sure that they're cleaning up the rest of the team so they can get this cart moving.
It's just really good work from both Brigs. I think you can see there, booping both monkeys off the high ground. Sora and Shiro doing really good work. Try and get that. Minty Toast takes out Olive in the process of the regroup. But on the other side, you know, you see both their tanks taken out, Dumpus and Astronaut.
And man, FA1, they're just struggling to find the cracks here to get that momentum. They're down to their last 40 seconds.
We talked about like how strong their opening attack was, right? And how like it was like what nearly 4 minutes on the clock, and they've just Tropical Thunder did such a good job at just closing that time down. Just maybe not the situation they would have liked, having Artemis back onto that hero that she likes a bit more desires. And on that high ground now, Brood Strike has gone all the way into their back. It's going to be very difficult now for Olive to get any value here.
Monkeys on both sides diving deep, but Hexel dealing to Monkey Enjoyer quickly. Gives a lot of advance to Tropical Thunder in here. They don't have that tank to support the rest of the team. Getting bullied in their backline as Olive just absolutely deciding how the fate of this match goes, deleting a couple of them. The overtime trickles, and they'll get it halfway through point 2, but that's all they'll get.
Step right up.
We need to see some fight back sooner rather than later for FA1. Tropical Thunder have been so dominant at the moment. Sure, they win 1 or 2 team fights FA1, but the rest of the time, Tropical Thunder look like they're a step ahead. And I think that's because of the way that Mag9 or Olive are playing right now. Just really good work from them. No matter what Olive's played so far, it's looked really strong and just really good in supporting the team. And Mag9 has been controlling the floor and the high ground really well for Tropical Thunder.
Yeah, man, they had a bit of a rough start there. I thought FA1's found their footing, but in the end, that point 2 hold, once they got their grounding properly, they managed their ults really well. We saw a moment there where Tropical Thunder had a lot of ults. They managed to use them all in the fight, but the problem was FA1, they built their ults and then used them instantly. So instead of having any bank of, you know, a potential aggression once Tropical had nothing left in the tank, they never got that opportunity. It never really got to happen. So I feel like they just, you know, they maybe suffered at that moment where they just couldn't keep their ults and to make them as effective as they wanted to.
I think the environment is a bit flustering, I feel. I mean, you probably wouldn't have all that miscommunication on a regular day out here, but this is ASCENT Grand Finals. It's like the last one being streamed. It's going to be a bit challenging for any team to do that, but I liked it how Tropical Thunder is using this pressure and using it and fueling it in their attack and defense each time they play, and they're just capitalizing on it every single time they have a fight with FA1.
Interesting Simtelli here. They actually managed to get Dumbfist with a sleep dart right at the back there. Anti-nade on, but they're going to let them get the recall out. Hexel gets straight out. Artemis with a great headshot there to show the value of that hit scan that they have. The team needs to make sure that they're allowing that to continue throughout the fights.
Yeah, really great start from them to just hold back the time a bit more. They need fights like that where one pick and done. Holding back the team for as long as it possibly can, and that's exactly what everyone don't need right now. Olive picking up Dumbfist in the back line is going to be difficult now for them to try and recuperate after that one.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty rough one to lose, but the rest of the team's still going strong. Much more aggressive hold here as well from FA1. They stopped the cart a lot earlier, but it might have cost them since they've lost a couple of players in the making of that hold. So they're doing well here, but they need to make sure that they're stopping this car on the other side. They basically give that underground out completely, except Astronaut, who's willing to go down there and face that 1v1.
I think Tropical, it's been a really topsy-turvy fight at the moment, just like going back and forth, and that the cart's not really moving anywhere. But I think Tropical Thunder are getting the upper edge at the moment, as we see Artemis falling there. But the Bob is going to be coming out very soon. We're going to be hoping that Jammin doesn't sleep it, and it's going to be a really good contesting tool.
They're going to have to be very careful, though, of that Hex on Noon, playing that high ground position at the back so they can just kind of cover as much as possible. Monkey Lover uses the barrier, so it's going to fall down and open the field up. They do commit the Monkey Rage as well. Diva Bomb into the field. The shield's there for Shiro to keep them going. Bob's committed too. A lot of ults thrown out for you from FA1, but they haven't really found the kills to show the value of that, and the cart rolls right on up easily.
You saw Olive there once again being the star of the show. Fortunately, we didn't get to see all of it in its glory, but there was some great stickies there to get those kill confirms, especially when you had Brood diving in there with the nano. It's all around really great teamwork between these two so far. I mean, they're always ready for the next dive.
This could be potential final fight territory, especially with the clone from Olive going Winston once again. Slept in that back line to just really disrupt, but the cart walks on up. In the meantime, they can't afford to forget it altogether. Astronaut has to be the only one to commit, but a rally and an anti-nade deals to them super quickly. That really hurts to watch, is to see the Diva fall to pieces. Shiro trying to do what they can in that front, but Hexel's won out the DPS battle with the hit scan, and the boot keeps the monkey away. Tropical, their momentum is unstoppable right now.
Wow, 3-0 so far in this best of 7. Not looking good for FA1 right now. I mean, you got to hand it to Olive there on that Echo again, once again showing some really good prowess, duplicating the monkey and then bringing back, taking FA1's like team all the way back to spawn. Didn't have to kill them, but it was enough because it just became so easy for the rest of their team to pick up the fight win.
Oh, wow, this is an astounding performance from Tropical right now. They are definitely showing their team prowess. They are playing like a unit, and they are really finding good efficiency from their ults. We saw even a great example at the end there from FA1. They used 3 ults in a row and just didn't connect the kills with it. The Bob didn't end up on the cart like they could have wanted. It didn't get the kills they needed. They just struggled there to find the value out of it, and that just shows you how good Tropical's positioning is, how their defensive play has been. Like we saw, I mean, the use of the shields and the whips to get rid of those monkeys and just reduce the pressure from Astronaut or Monkey and Joy altogether. Really, really effective play from the whole team.
Certainly really, really good here, and we're going to be looking into the Assault map now, the 2CP. It's going to be really difficult for FA1 to try and pick into this one. It's like the most challenging map, I feel, is to play, the map type. And it's going to be a tall order. I think some sort of comp will come out to try and counter the rush that Tropical have, but I feel like that is just so strong at the moment. Not to mention their dive has been really excellent. We saw on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We're just hoping for some really good play right now. We'll hope FA1 get back into it in this map.
It's quite funny. I thought FA1 might be quite happy to get Brood off of the Reinhardt, but on the Monkey, they're just as terrifying. So honestly, which is the lesser of two evils in that department, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite difficult when the when a player walks in like that, having such a strong Ryan, and you want to take it off, and you want him to take it off, and then boom, he just comes back with a just as equally as strong Monkey. It's just really difficult for a team to play into a main tank of, I think, Brood's caliber. Very good in this division, and we are going to be looking at the next map now. It is going to be Hanamura.
Oh, well, we kind of knew that was going to happen because it was my background this whole time and it matches my shirt. So I predicted that, if anything. You know, you're welcome. You're welcome, chat. I got your back.
Congratulations, stranger. We're going to be seeing a we're going to be seeing a switch on now. We're going to be seeing Tropical Thunder starting on the attack rather than the defense. It's going to be a bit tough here for FA1 to defend first here. We might be seeing a revisit of the sim strat here, or we might see something completely different. And not a lot of more avenues they can take compared to Lijiang and the other maps.
Tropical even going to sub out Mag9 here on the tank side of things, bring in Faded EXE. So see what kind of tank mix up that brings for them. Obviously, they don't want the Diva potentially anymore. We saw a lot of that from Mag9, so potentially that's their change up there. We'll have to see what comes of it.
If you saw there, I think Faded EXE was on their starting roster and fortunately for unknown reasons didn't play, and I think now it's time to bring it home, try and switch things up and hopefully get the win, get the map win before FA1 can try and capitalize on any mistakes that they may have made, or trying to catch on to the kind of team content they're making. I think it's a good play.
Yeah, man. Geez, if you're FA1 right now, you probably are feeling pretty down. 3-0. It's a big mountain to climb to go forward here, so they have to dig real deep if they want to take this one home, while Tropical will be riding that high, no doubt. I mean, after you get 3 in a row, you're just sitting pretty. So lots of pressure on FA1 here, but if they can get it and they bring this back, how epic could that be?
It could be quite excellent. We saw something pretty similar in the Div 1 game last night. We saw Bourbon going down 2 maps early and was able to claw it back to a map 7 thriller. Last final fight territory. So it would be absolutely amazing to see a game like that once again. But I feel like Tropical Thunder just have that little bit of an edge right now. I think Faded's come in at a maybe startling time. One more map and it's all over, so you don't want to be that man to kind of mess it up. But as we look at these team comps right now, I feel like everyone has a sort of advantage.
Defend objective A.
And Tropical going to start on the attack. They really here to set the standard. So if this is a quick push for them and it's super effective, then that really sets the precedent. But we see a good start here. They burn through Brood's shield quite nicely. This is good defensive play from FA1 so far.
Yeah, we saw that immediately as the teleporter came out. Dumbfist was ready on that fire to just take it out. Really well done from then. Shira falls really early here. That's going to be a bit difficult, and the immo goes down. Dumbfist now just raining fire onto the point, as long as Artemis taking a good angle there, and it looks like they may have well gotten the tick, but their fight's going to be over here.
Yeah, that nade from Minty Toast really made the difference in that whole battle there. Brood, Fade, they both go off to reset, but man, that anti-nade from Minty really helped them just get those first few picks and stop the push, but they still let a tick through, even so.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate they didn't get the time up. If they don't get on point, it's going to be difficult. I mean, to keep that kind of defense style that they're going for, they're going to have to play a bit more towards point. But they have swapped off the sim now. Hexel on the Cassidy, trying to kill the barraging Farah, as it does get the immortality. Artemis takes out Olive, and looks like FA1 once again a strong defense as Tropical Thunder try and take up this high ground.
Yeah, if they can trickle these last few out, they'll get themselves some good time as well. They've got to make sure Shiro is one to fall early so they don't get the sustain. I mean, unless Brood goes ham here and finds themselves some kills, but it's not the case. They do finally fall. And that's some good time burn because they're going to take a while to get to the respawn.
Yeah, half their time burn right now, only a tick to their name, but the ults are coming back here. We're going to see Hexel swap back to the Symmetra. Maybe the right choice here to get on that point as fast as possible, but I feel like the one to watch out for the moment is their 2 TPS on FA1. You have to find a way to capitalize and try and defeat what they're trying to do. Dumbfist Farah has been so strong right now as the Flux comes out from Astronaut.
And they still don't really have an answer to it either on that attacking side, but you might not need to if the point is given away for free like this. Brood manages to get on there and just really dominate some point as they take their second tick, even though they lose a couple of kills. They get rid of Monkey and Joya. Sora does have the res for that, and another good anti-nade deals to that tank line. Dumbfist falls, but it doesn't matter. They've won the battle out for sure.
Yeah, they let up another tick there. It might be very difficult now. They kind of have to keep more so to the point. If they let one more tick go, it's going to be very unfortunate for them.
Only a minute remaining, but look, of course, Tropical always there with that ult advantage. They got the 3 in hand, coming up on that 4th as well. Brood with the Shatter is terrifying, of course, so up comes the Telly. They go for another attempt. Up comes the Bear as well. They go high, and still the anti-nade lands well. Minty making great value out of those as Brood has to use the Shatter on the Bob to try and help the team out, but they've just got so much damage output. Olive drops the ult, but is absolutely destroyed by the support rolls. And in the last minute, they commit a lot there and don't get much out of it.
Yeah, they're just frantically changing up their team comp right now. I think FA1's done a really good job here at holding it, despite the easy tick percentage that they've let out. But I think just the pharmacy on that right side most of the time, it's just been so suppressing, and so much damage just comes in. Might not be the final blower every single time, but it's certainly it's had such a massive impact thus far.
Yeah, still, Tropical don't have a super good... Wow, the hack out actually removing Astronaut's ult there, so that gives them a lot of value. They find the kill out of it too. Hexels come in, right close range with that Reaper shotguns, makes it very hard Artemis to get taken by it. But dropping another launch of rockets there as Dumbfist puts a lot of damage out, but does finally fall. And it looks like they might just pull this out if they can get rid of Monkey Enjoyer, who has got that nano on for a lot of sustain, but the man advantage is definitely in Tropical's favor. It's going to be hard to sustain through it all. Another great nade from Minty. My goodness, these have been so good. They get rid of a support. The Sleep Dart comes out. Minty does finally go down, but the stall has been very good in this final tick. Olive's got the damage output, though, to get rid of Monkey. They're trying to clear this point as the tanks do manage to get on Astronaut in for another bit of rolling around. Artemis can't get there to have any of the value that they wanted to. That beat drop definitely seals the deal. Not needed, but in the end, it secures the lock.
Yeah, that was really well done. That looks like a losing fight to begin with, and they were just able to turn it around with some good hacks there from Olive. Another kind of quick play from Olive there was able to allow Hexel to get so much damage off, but they've got this kind of just Dallas Fuel Rush kind of comp happening now in that last stages that just ended up to really work there. Jarman, unfortunately, does a bit of a, doesn't oopsie, and forces Tropical Thunder to walk back to spawn. Uh-oh, Astronaut. Taking Shiro off the edge just like Jarman. There goes the clutch. Quite incredible.
That was maybe like the best fade I've ever watched fall straight off the cliff. There was just, it was not happening at all. Olive's like right there as well up here, like standing next to Artemis, who hasn't spotted them, and that's going to be terrifying. I mean, look at one flashbang could ruin you there.
Yeah, that might be a bit unfortunate. They're kind of walking out there. They've been detected. Oh no! Ooh. But as you could probably tell, Jarman has lost more privileges after that one. And it's gone to the piece. The bomb comes out from Faded though, able to pick up Sora. EMP out from Olive, and would you look at that, it's taking up all of the kills now, and they're going to cap point very smoothly.
This pulse bomb does land onto Brood, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team have been rolled over. Not a problem at all. Jammin's finding some damage output too as they get their second tick. The Mortality Field keeps Sora alive for a second. That's a good shatter, but when you get pinned like that straight after, no value can be found from it. The damage output from Tropical is huge here. Both Noons either way, but it looks like Hexels is just slightly better in the end and wins out the fight. They clean up the point here. Sora jumps on, but a stun deals to them super quickly. And with a minute 15, they finally get that second point.
Oh wow, that was such great switch up there from Tropical Thunder. They saw it wasn't working, so they swapped it up, and my god, did it work really well the next time. I think you have to say that, you know, Olive's swap to Sombra was so instrumental to that win. The hacks on the Lucio on the ball and just everything, especially that EMP near the end, was just so good, and it was able to pick up so many final blows, not to mention Faded's self-destruct kill onto Sora. Another massive play there, and they got the time, and now all they need now is a big defense, and they have won the Division 4 Grand Finals.
Yeah, Tropical has the power to do a 0.1 hold for sure. I mean, FA1 are going to have to really come to the table here on this first point, because it's notoriously difficult to get through this this first bit. But once you get that through it, you can kind of get that roll going. So, I mean, I think FA1 had a great showing there on the defense. That's definitely some of the best play we've seen from them in the last few maps. So hopefully this could be comeback territory for them.
I mean, yeah, hopefully we see some fight back now. They're going to be looking up something more conventional. Dumbfist back on the maze, something they ran on Lijiang Tower. On the other side, they're going to keep those DPS that they ran last time, the Sombra and the Cassidy. Olive looking for another strong showing here.
5, 4, 3.
Look, let's see what Artemis and Dumbfist can really do. I think if they find some early picks, especially with how out of position Tropical Thunder here is, this can either go really good or really bad.
Oh,
and Monkey
boy.
is gonna check it, so you'll love to see it. That's a great Maywall as well. The pin attempt, Minty Toast gonna commit the old Immortality to give them the damage, but neither team finds a pickup. Only the Immortality feels to fall there. And that's a bit unfortunate for FA1. You could kind of expect them to be finding the pick there to win out that fight, especially when they catch them in a bad position like that.
Little prize attack right there. Bad position, but they're able to pick up something out of it. The Shadow's so close to being ready for Brood right now. He's just waiting for it to happen. I don't think Astronaut's ready.
You can see the value that FA1's getting early. Oh, straight at the moment that they dropped the shield. That wall was fantastic. It puts Brood actually behind them with the pin attempt. We see the switch up with the telly onto the objective from the rest of the team as they manage to get on, and the split up is real. Brood is still back there finding Dumbfist. Astronaut unfortunately to fall, but that pin through onto Saw. Oh, actually didn't connect to Saw because they got taken out before they can get picked up by it. So even though they managed to get to the point and almost get that second tick, they still do lose this battle in the end.
Oh, no matter how far out of position Brood was just there, Olive was able to get a hack off on Dumbfist,
yeah.
and that was it. That was incredible play from him once again, really coming in clutch as we're getting ready for an EMP and a high noon.
Yeah, EMP is going to be right there to rip the team up. It stops their push. Obviously won't allow the noon because the line of sight's not there, but Brood's happy to get amongst it with that speed boost, put them right in that front line. And they're just saying, you guys don't even get to play around this choke. We're pushing you right back.
One ult is all they need there. And of course it was Olive's ult. Really just becoming his playground at the moment. It's just really great work all around from him. We need to find some sort of fight back here from either Dumbfist or Artemis. We've seen some good plays from both of them, but not as good as what Olive has been producing.
This is a great wall, great shatter as well to follow up from Astronaut. The team need to make sure they get these kills. They get Faded's bomb put right in the front. They have the barriers and Immortality field to dodge the whole lot as they take dominance on this objective. Another good pin there, but Astronaut actually gets taken out by Faded, not able to finish them off with the pin attempt. And still, they just linger on this point too long without finding the pickups. Can Tropical actually pull this back here? There's a couple of kills going their way. They take Minty out of it as well. This Diva Bomb from Monkey and Joya just to zone out and give them a bit of more extra space on the objective, but still only one tick is in their favor at the minute, and we still see people from Tropical rolling back on. Both tanks come back into play, and they somehow hold this out in the end. What the heck?
Yeah, it's just really good work. Once again, they was able to just get some stalls off their jump and just able to keep everyone alive. I think that was a very good play from him. And Olive felt very low there, and you felt that presence known. They were able to capitalize off it as he had to back out, but he just came back on with his translocator out, and he was just so strong, able to deal so much damage. And now we can see FA1 teleporting up to that high ground and running through, but the EMP is going to come out as soon as Olive can get on this high ground here, waiting and stalking his time out for the perfect time, maybe waiting for a team to get in position. When is he going to do it?
Tropical Thunder have huge ult advantage coming to this fight as well. I mean, there's only 30 seconds remaining. 4 ults. There's the hack, the noon to come up. Barrier as well. They drop the beat for the healing. Shatter falls. The kills are found left, right, and center. That's an absolute cleanup if ever I've seen it. And Tropical Thunder, what a showing tonight. I mean, there's only 10 seconds. I highly doubt that FA1 can get back here in time with only the one shatter in hand. This has just been an absolute slaughter fest from Tropical as they take it on out the whole way through. 4 maps, 4 wins, easy clap, one might say. Tropical, the underdogs actually being the legends tonight. FA1 unfortunately will go home in an absolute upset.
That's quite unfortunate for them considering how strong their season was. I think that's so good though, how well they played all around. They used all their ults in that last fight, and that's all they needed really. Doesn't matter if it's last fight, they aren't going to be able to contest, so use their ults just then. And they had the advantage, and that's exactly what happened. They were able to capitalize off that so well.
Yeah, I mean, geez, they absolutely played their minds out tonight. I mean, Dumbfist really did do good with the flight there and the rockets, but it just in the end you can't play that very well on the defense, and then uh, on the attack there it makes it a bit more hard. And wow, Tropical just blew our minds there tonight. I didn't think they would have such a great showing like they did. That was impressive.
Yeah, of course. I think we have to talk about the real MVP of this match. Definitely for Tropical Thunder. I mean, it's got to be Olive, right?
It's gotta be. It's
Yeah,
gotta be. Oliver.
such great DPS playing on the Mei, on the Echo, and we even saw the Sombra come out tonight. Wow, what an incredible game for him.
One hack to hold the whole team off. We saw Olive just playing that front line while the rest of the team dealt with the point. Olive was just sneaking around, getting headshots on Mei to just clean one member after the other. Just fantastic play all around by them.
Yeah, that's really good there. Unfortunately, I feel like that's all the Overwatch that we have time for today, so we are going to be heading over to the credits.
Yeah, look, that's ASCENT, guys. I mean, final set there. That was Division 4. Your winners tonight are obviously Tropical Thunder. Great stuff by them. They really impressed us, and I actually personally wasn't expecting. I thought FA1 was going to come to the ball after having a clean sweep, but really good job. We've had some great Overwatch if you've been watching the previous nights and the previous weeks. And of course, remember that ASCENT does happen at least once a year. It will be coming again in the future. We definitely want to be bringing that to you. And of course, it does only happen because of all the people here on the screen. We've got a huge group of people that are organizing these events, making sure they're happening. We got all of the streamers and the producers that are making sure that you get to see and hear the show in the best version of it. And of course, you have to remember as well, a huge thank you to our Patreons who make sure that the money for these competitions can be there to really drive that competition, because that is what makes people play at their peak performance, you know, that drive to get some cash in the bank. I mean, if anything's going to drive you, that will.
It certainly makes it a little bit more incentive to play, and I think every team would be happy despite playing, and then you get a little bit of a prize if you win. So yeah, congratulations to Tropical Thunder tonight, who do get their prize pool, winning earnings. And yeah, thanks to everyone that's been watching the stream. Once again, thanks to everyone producing it. And I believe that is all we have time for today. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow with an AOL stream. The AOL stream, the regular tournament. It runs a bit like ASCENT, but it's just got a bit more teams in it.
That's all right. I really look forward to that, and that'll be back to its normal Saturday night streaming as well going forward for the next few weeks. So make sure that you follow the links down below, or hop onto the old Twitter as well to get notified of all that and get involved yourself if you want to, because remember, AOL is for everybody and you can get amongst it if you want to do it yourself. So thanks for everything tonight, and I hope you guys have a good one.
See you next time.